This lack of home field advantage has nothing to do with money. Over the past decade or so, taxpayers in Portland have shelled out more than $2 billion in bond money to renovate the public high schools and regular schools. McDaniel High School in Northeast Portland got a makeover of $240 million. But at that school, something went very wrong when it came to building the new ball fields. Here's investigative reporter Kyle Aboshi.
1, 2, 3, melee!
It's game day, and McDaniel High School is on the road facing Ida B. Wells. But for McDaniel, every game is an away game. 2 years after a multi-million-dollar renovation at the Portland High School, the softball team can't use their own field for games. They've got to play elsewhere.
We have to go off campus, and those get called home games, but they're not at home.
And baseball is in the same position. Instead of playing on a new turf field just steps from their own high school, players and their parents have to travel across town for home games.
You know, it was like, wow, we get a new field. It's so exciting. And it's been a bummer the last 2 years.
It's incredibly frustrating. It's just sitting there.
These student athletes are often pulled from class early, missing school, so they can jump on a bus to get to their home game.
Today I just had to leave. I got into Spanish class for 5 minutes and I had to leave.
Not to mention there's a lack of school spirit and a sense of community when you're playing every game away.
I have friends and family who are like, oh, I want to come watch you. And it's like, oh, well, my game is at Delta. That's like 30 minutes away.
In September of 2021, Portland Public Schools celebrated the reopening of McDaniel High School. The roughly $240 million renovation included new theaters, common areas, and athletic fields. But at some point, it's not clear when, the district realized there was a flaw in the baseball and softball fields, making them unusable for games. In an email to KGW last year, the assistant athletics director explained, the issue is lack of a protective padded wall or cyclone fence in front of a short cement retaining wall. In essence, it was a safety issue. But 1 year later, it sounds like there's more. In a letter to the community, the district wrote, unfortunately, the new netting does not allow baseballs to bounce off the netting and remain in play, thus effectively shortening the length of the field and making it unusable for league games. To fix the problem, the district plans to install custom steel poles that will hold up new tension net and some protective padding, the letter explained.
Wouldn't they know how to build a field correctly? So was that contractor paid? Where's that contractor? Are they paying for their mistake?
Many parents, frustrated by delays, feel the district is giving them the runaround.
No real good answers as to why the problem hasn't been solved yet.
Last June, Portland Public Schools told this reporter in an email the field will be ready for use for league games next season. Clearly, it's not. And when parents confronted the school board about the delays in March,
how is this still acceptable 2 years on, and what are you going to do about it?
A school board member reassured parents and players the field would be fixed soon. It wasn't.
And it sounds like you guys will miss your first home game, and then after that you should be good to go.
Portland Public Schools declined an interview and did not respond to written questions. In a statement, the district wrote, the project continues to be delayed by supply chain issues and labor shortages. We will continue making every effort to remedy this situation as quickly as possible. This isn't the first time Portland Public Schools has run into issues surrounding a newly renovated athletic field. In 2021, the district agreed to build a softball field at Grant High School in response to a Title IX lawsuit, which claimed plans for a softball field had been scrapped during a renovation of the high school.
I want to know that the money that is going to the district is being managed right.
Issues surrounding athletic fields are consequential because Portland Public Schools is in the midst of a massive modernization project. Right now, construction crews are working on the field at Lincoln High School. Over the past decade or so, taxpayers have approved more than $2 billion in bonds to help fix up Portland's aging schools. A lack of transparency can erode voter confidence.
If we vote for a bond that's supposed to give us a school with athletic facilities for our kids, and what we wind up with is a really nice school, the athletic facilities don't really work out so well, then it makes it harder to say yes to the next thing that comes up.
And on a more basic level, the kids from McDaniel just want to use their own field. instead of playing every home game away.
Kyle joins me now, and I thought that mom, I guess she was a mom, had a great question. Who's the contractor and what went wrong?
Right, and great questions that we hoped to answer. We weren't able to. Let me walk you through the reporting process a little bit here. So we started out initially by submitting a request to Portland Public Schools Media Relations team. This is their job to communicate with the public, asking for an on-camera interview. They said no. So we figured, well, let's submit some questions. So we emailed a list of maybe about 8 questions to Portland Public Schools, which we felt were really important, like who's going to make this fix, how much are they getting paid, what does the fix look like, what's the timeline, that type of thing. And they didn't answer our questions, did not respond to that. Which brings us to where we are today. I submitted a public records request for any contracts associated with fixing this field. Again, who's getting paid, how much are they getting paid, what does that look like? And we're still waiting on those records.
And for folks at home who don't know, I mean, these are basic public records. It's as simple as it gets. You get the request, boom, send it.
Yeah, they've acknowledged the fact that they've received the request, which is required by law, and now we wait, and hopefully they do provide that. And we'll come back and explain when we do find out, again, how much it's costing and who's doing the work. And then also why it's taking so long.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're keeping the pressure on. What's next for the kids and for the fields till they can finally use them for games?
And that really is one of the big questions, right? When can they use this field to play games? They've been practicing on it, but no games. According to the district, with all the delays and things, they're hoping by sometime this summer to get it up and running. But again, as you saw in the story, we've heard this before.
This is the same district who said, oh, you'll miss the home game, that's it.
Sure.
Yeah. All right, Kyle, thanks a lot. Appreciate you keeping the pressure on those folks.